Welcome to the recorded conversation. Okay, so we're going to plan a trip this year. Got to turn off the heater because it's still going. So that background noise will shut off in a second. But did you want to show me your first idea and then I'll go my first? So we each have two and I'll end the whole thing, or do you want to go first?
We'll switch off. I'm going first, doing one. You go, I go, you go.
Okay. So
you can close it out. So just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Vince and I are taking a Lighthouse trip this year. And we have to pick where we're going to go. And both being Lighthouse people and trip planners, we don't want to butt heads. So we're going to do this democratically.
Yeah, we're going to vote with two people in the population.
But we're each going to pitch two ideas for our Lighthouse travel. We did a little bit of research for each one, but they're not completed. They're just, some ideas.
Yeah, if we had enough time, we could put this out there and then people vote.
Oh, that would be cool.
Vote where we're going to go.
Yeah.
We could connect with them, make a meet and greet event.
Oh my gosh. High dreams.
That's right.
But instead, it's just going to be you and me. And we're going to pick from these four options.
Before we go into the four options, I want to talk about our last trip.
Okay.
So we took a trip to the Outer Banks, 2022?
Yeah. No, 2021.
21.
Yeah.
In September.
Oh, 22. That's right.
Okay, 22 September.
Sorry, I forgot it's
now
not,
2024.
I forgot it's 24, not 23.
Which is wild. But yeah, you really planned that whole trip, and I was along for the ride.
I did.
I had a great time.
Full planned.
But yeah, we talked about, I'm just going to go to the map. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, follow along.
Yeah, this is a very visual heavy episode.
First off, I'm going to state again, we're here in Kansas City.
Get on my chair.
Cats are being stinkers.
Go ahead again.
We got lots of background noise.
It should be done now. After the heater.
Still on. Anyways, Kansas City is where we're at. So we're in no lighthouse land, but we sure do like it. I would like your sympathy to realize that lighthouses are along the Great Lakes, along the coasts, really in all of the islands, but not here. So if anyone wants to give us some motivation to keep traveling.
Yeah.
Anyways, we love it. No. So we went to North Carolina. We flew into Norfolk here, rented a car. And then what did we have? 5 days? It wasn't that long.
It was 5 days.
But we made the most of it. And it was a good amount of time for what we did.
Yeah, I think we could have used one more day.
Yeah.
Because we had to smash in Cape Hatteras on our travel day.
Yeah.
So we were really pushing for time.
So, but I really enjoyed, we had a little dinky car, but I really enjoyed the drive. We went through Corolla, Duck, Kitty Hawk.
No. We went down through Currituck, and then crossed that bridge.
Oh, I thought we were in those.
No, that would have been.
Oh, there's no road out here. Yeah, there's no highway at least.
Yeah.
So I've been corrected.
Slow going.
I've been corrected. I do remember that Currituck. This is kind of not as pretty as the coastline. But this was a nice ride. We saw some
cool stuff on that drive. I feel like it's a cool drive.
Yeah, made the cross. Kitty Hawk. I felt like we were kind of there. And then where was our first night? That was.
It was in
Hatteras
it was
down here.
Kitty Hawk. Nag's Head.
That's right. I was like, it's just south of Kitty Hawk. And Nag's Head was really cool. Played, the first thing we did is we played here. The golf links. We played 9 holes. It was beautiful. I'd recommend it. I feel like I'm super zoomed out. That's not how you do it. It's on the TV, so it's weird. But anyways, I'm not going to go way down tangents. That was really great. We had some awesome food here, hung out here. We had a really great Airbnb in Nag's Head. Then we went down. We saw Body. Is that right?
Yeah, Body Island.
Was that the first one that we saw?
We went to Currituck first.
That's right. Up north, and then Body Island.
Yeah.
And then eventually we went on down.
Went all the way down.
Cape Hatteras.
Saw Ocracoke. So we took the...
Yeah, so Hatteras is here. Took the ferry.
Over to Ocracoke.
Look at that route. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ocracoke Island, I also highly recommend. We had a great time there.
Oh, it was so nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Little Ocracoke lighthouse, little stubby.
Stubby dude.
Didn't look so bad in the picture.
No.
It's not
Up
bad.
close.
It didn't look so stubby in the picture, but it's awfully stubby.
We had some really good food right next to the ferry. Oh, yeah.
McNally's.
McNally's.
Uh-huh.
It was delicious. Very good.
We have a picture. I'll insert it here if I have the effort to do it. But I had a Budweiser. It's before Budweiser was canceled by America.
That wasn't Budweiser.
It was a Budweiser. And
I mean, Bud Light's the one that was canceled.
That's all. It's Budweiser brand.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. It was all canceled. Bud Light, Budweiser. Bud Light was the one who made a can that got a bunch of attention. I do not care, but the world got rid of Budweiser, at least in Kansas City.
I don't know anything about that.
Back away from politics because I don't care about them. McNally's was great, but I had a Budweiser.
The slushy stand. And I want to go to the slushy stand.
We got to go back.
Oh, ice cream. No, I want a slushy. I want shave ice.
I bet you they have both.
It's probably true. No, it doesn't say. Don't say slushy
ice
stand.
Ice cream, espresso. They got free Wi-Fi. Okay.
Oh, and bikes.
Okay, that looks very good. Yeah, ice cream.
That's ice cream.
I think they're lying. Maybe they don't know what slushies are down there.
Anyway,
yeah, anyways, so good.
After Ocracoke, we didn't even spend a full day there. It was like a little bit. Then went back, had our whole debacle with the Seagull Motel.
Yeah, it was what was that? Labor Day?
Yeah,
September.
Day.
We were staying we eventually got back and we were staying in Hatteras at somewhere, and it didn't work out. It was really frustrating. It was an Airbnb food bar situation.
They were turds.
We had a great dinner that night, though.
Oh, where did we go? Where was that called?
Dinkies. There's not many restaurants around.
There's only one open at that time.
There's the deli.
I think it was up. Oh, no.
Frisco Bay. You think it was up here?
I thought it was here and then like close to the water.
Dinkies. Look at you.
Dinkies.
Dinkies was probably my favorite meal.
It was the best food we had on our trip. It was so good.
And
it was packed. Just absolutely packed. And it was a random Monday at 10 p.m.
Yeah. Monday at 10 p.m., kind of a holiday week.
Yeah. And they put me in the service elevator because I was on my scooter.
Man. Yeah, we have a video.
So we went up we went up to the elevator.
But we met some super nice people here. Let me look at the food for a minute. So the point of this is why we're sidetracking. It's not really a sidetrack. It just feels like it. We love to travel. I live in Kansas City. I never have seafood. It's trash here. But to be able to eat at, Google rated 4.5 stars, it was a nice restaurant. We met nice people who actually had us stay with them in their house for the night.
Yeah. And it wasn't just a house. That was a resort.
Yeah.
It was a resort.
Yeah. They helped us in a moment that I didn't even realize how screwed we were. Because there was nowhere to stay. It was a holiday evening.
Mm-hmm.
We would have had to drive who knows how far up the highway to find somewhere to stay.
And it was 10 p.m.
And it was 10 p.m.
Like we were exhausted. We spent all day going to Ocracoke and stuff.
Yeah. That was the Bonzer Beach House?
Yeah, Beach House. I didn't realize. Well, and you were like, no, like we don't want to do that. We don't want to inconvenience them. And you were like, if they ask again, then maybe.
Right.
Which is so funny for us. If they insist we come and stay at their house, we'll do it.
People joke about like the Midwest.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, you say goodbye, for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That was my version of Midwest. I was like, all right.
Well, I didn't think about it. I was like, I don't want to stay. Are you kidding me? Some stranger's house? Like, that sounds ridiculous.
They seem nice, but they're strangers.
And then as the night went on and we weren't getting any response from any of our places
10.
we were thinking of staying, it was like, oh, we actually need somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
And then we thought we'd lost the car keys leaving there. You had to go back inside.
That's so embarrassing. The point is they were really nice people. And honestly, we were in a huge moment of need, and it was a big, thankful moment for this.
They were very nice.
So the next day after that fiasco, we went to Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, which is, of course, the tallest in the United States. Big spiral pattern. I highly recommend visiting here.
Yeah.
As well as everything we did in the Outer Banks. But Cape Hatteras was the last thing we got to see before we went all the way north up to the airport and flew back home.
Yeah, and
the center of the United States.
You took a break, pulled over on the side of the road because I wanted you to see if there were any seashells along. And so you had to hike over some dunes to Cape Hatteras National Seashore.
Is
And
that where we were? Somewhere in here, yeah.
Bald Beach. I think that was it.
Yeah, there's probably where we parked. Just kind of off the road somewhere. She was on, again, insert photos here. She was on the scooter and a crutch that we ended up throwing away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really lived the adventure.
We threw the crutches away in a gas station trash can, like outside.
No one else to give them to. No,
I know.
Couldn't fly home with them.
We were late. Like, we were running late. We had to just... You couldn't do anything about it, so.
So we had a great time, and we recorded podcasts, little segments at each one of these lighthouses.
Yeah,
I think all of them.
Episode 10. The only one that we missed out on was Roanoke Marshes, which I want to cover.
Well, and of course, what's down here?
Cape Lookout. We didn't get to go, though.
That's out on, is this island?
No, it's past that, yeah. Keep going. There it is.
Wow. I didn't realize it was so far. Okay.
Yeah, it would have been an excursion.
We'd love to see that one someday.
Would love to. I love diamonds.
And the point is, we had a great trip. It kind of was fuel for our early. I would go watch episode 10. It's not our best production quality because of what we did.
Yeah, we had our
but
old
it's cool
stuff.
that we recorded at the lighthouses.
Yeah, how cool.
And that was really me getting into it, and I don't know. I bought into it at that time. I really had a good trip, and I would recommend it really for anybody, old, young, saving money, spending money. There's different ways to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like number one on the tourist destinations, at least that we hear about here in Kansas City. You know, people talk about going to Florida a lot. They talk about the Northeast, the Northwest,
they just
California, Mexico. But I've never heard of anyone I know going to the Outer
people
Banks.
value very different things. Like, we really like going to distilleries. We like going to some beaches, but we don't want that to be our whole trip, is spending time on beaches.
Yeah, we're not tanning, folks.
Yeah.
Especially myself.
That's because we get charred instead.
Swedish blood. But we had a great time, and so we've talked about doing another trip, and that's what today's conversation is going to be, is looking at another trip. I'm not proposing this, but I would go back, and I know Emily would too, and do the Outer Banks again. I think we'd have a great time.
I think if we did it again, I'd want to go from the bottom up. So we would go to Emerald Isle, and then we'd go to Cape Lookout, and then maybe we'd hit Ocracoke and actually stay there for a day. Yeah. And like kind of make the most of the bottom section. That would be awesome.
Here's the downside to people who listen to this episode have different lives. They live in different places. We live in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And one of my 2 trips today that I'm going to propose, you'll see the challenge is making it a round trip to an airport.
Yeah.
Because the round trip cuts down on your rental car and your flight costs sometimes. And, if we did from the south to the north, I like the idea, but what would we fly into Raleigh or Wilmington? I mean,
exactly.
And then you take several ferries and you return a car probably up to Norfolk again. It's not undoable. It just adds a cost. And when we're just out of college, broke people, which we're getting a little further from that now.
Yeah.
But still, I'm still broke. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Still, I don't know. If you had no cost considerations, If you're retired, you got time considerations. Whoa, this would be great.
It would be fun.
I will say a lot of people we saw out here and met seem to be more local tourists, like from...
Yeah, where they live somewhere else, and then this is their like summer home that they stay at.
Where was the nice couple? I don't want to name them, but they were Boston?
Yes, Boston.
So they were. Where's Boston at?
Speaking of Boston, why don't we go into our episode?
Hold on, not yet. The point I wanted to make was they were saying, "Oh yeah, Boston's so far away." I think it was a 12-hour drive between their nice, beautiful Hatteras area and. I should know things, but I don't.
So jealous. Can you imagine being that close to coast and... Huh?
Baltimore's up there. No, it was Baltimore.
Are you sure?
I thought so. They were Ravens fans. Maybe they used to live in Baltimore.
No, you might be right.
It doesn't matter. The point is, more local tourists there. Yeah, Boston's even further north. I'm an idiot. I need to zoom out and think, buddy. But anyways, we loved it. So we felt like we were from very far away. Being Kansas City folks.
And we don't get to travel that often, and especially not for like lighthouse trips. So we're doing that this year, and we've come up with hopefully 4 different places.
And we'll have to play with number of days and dollars and all that.
It's all preliminary.
would you like to take over the
I'm going to
screen?
go first.
And Emily will go first.
So my first suggestion is going to Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Cool. This is the one. I'm not shooting you down. This is the one that I thought you were going to do. I thought we talked about Cape Cod. I thought our friends talked about Cape Cod.
Mm-hmm.
So I am excited to hear about this.
Yeah. So obviously you can see from the lighthouses that there's tons of them.
Oh my gosh, color coding.
I know. Look at me go. And each one has a note for like something like maybe if the parking's difficult or, you know, from what I've read from reviews. Yeah.
Can you hover and show me some of these notes?
Well, I'm going to talk about each one individually.
Oh, wow.
I mean, not like a lot, but so basically Cape Cod is mostly, and this is what I was talking about before, is that I have a trip that's beachy and a trip that's not beachy.
Mm-hmm.
Cape Cod's all beachy.
I would not have said that.
So this is pretty north. There's Maine. You got
Nice.
Cape Cod over here. And so it's really small, and you can drive the whole length of Cape Cod in like less than 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all the lighthouses are. Like there's some down here I have that we could go to, and there's this Martha's Vineyard.
I've heard, yeah.
Yeah,
I know almost nothing, but I've heard it's beautiful.
You can take a ferry to it, and there's a couple of lighthouses on there that you can just drive to, and there's a bunch of other stuff you can do on it. So I have listed all this: Cape Podge, East Chop. There's another one over here somewhere.
So
West Chop.
Oh, golf club. Are we looking at going to all of these, do you think?
All the lighthouses?
All the ones that you called out?
Well, so we'd have to select which lighthouses we want to go see because there's so many.
Okay.
And they're all kind of like, some of them, like this one, we'd have to take a ferry, and you'd have to take a ferry with your car, drive it around to the lighthouses, or like, yeah, it would just be a different kind of undertaking that we would have to talk about. So transportation costs, I saw that flights in August are around $300 to get to Boston.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and then get some driving stuff going on here, just like you do.
Of course, things will change. Yeah, you can't quote us for flights.
No,
So,
I'm just saying around 300.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Round trip. So then we would land in Boston. I figured we'd spend a day in Boston because I've never been there.
I've never been. Yeah.
There's some good lighthouses. Boston Island Light is there, but now they've restricted access to it.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
With Sally Snowman's
Mhm.
retired recently?
Yes. And on Little Brewster Island, a lot of the lighthouses that people visit are on islands, so you have to take ferries to them. So it's kind of like, if we want to spend a day or not.
Yeah.
And then the drive is like an hour and 10 minutes or something to get to the base here, where there's a couple of lighthouses we could see from the water or from the shore.
Yeah.
And then figure we could stay in Hyannis. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's a couple of lighthouses around here. I figured we would just pick a home base somewhere in the middle of Cape Cod so we could go, because there's not really anywhere to stay in Provincetown. Well,
these are real small towns, probably.
Yeah. There are places to stay, but I just figured it'd make it easier. And instead of like the last day, like we did in Ocracoke, where we had to drive all the way from the bottom back to, we wouldn't have to do that this time if we stay somewhere in the middle. Why? Is that what's happening in yours? That's kind of, yeah.
You'll see why. Yeah.
So anyway, total from the lighthouse, from the airport to the end of Cape Cod is just under 3 hours. So
Not a lot of driving.
No.
My trips traverse a lot more area.
Oh boy.
But the good thing, I don't mean to step on your presentation, so continue, but it's
Continue,
nice.
but in a second.
I mean, there's something nice in a vacation, kind of like in the Outer Banks, where you're not traveling as much, and you're spending more time. Like you said, beachy. I wouldn't say beachy as far as like sand beachy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never been here. I'd have to.
It's definitely sandy. Everything's sandy. Sand and grass.
Cape Cod Bay. And you said September-ish.
August. Anytime in the summer, really. It's just because it's so far north that, like, the summer months, the high is in the 70s. So if you go any other time, it's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah. Okay.
You probably can't swim anyway. So.
Very cool.
That nice little bit of drive in there. So I figured we'd have one night in Boston, 3 nights where we stay in the middle, and explore north and everything. And then for the last night, we can stay anywhere that's closer to the airport, so it's less of a big drive. But also, it really doesn't matter that much. Like the
5
drive,
nights, 6 days.
The drive being, like an hour and 10 minutes means that we're not going to be like breakneck. It wasn't like 4 hours with Okokoke where it was like, okay, we have to seriously plan around the drive back to the airport.
Do you think that keep going.
Okay.
I think we'll finish all of them, and then there's some questions that kind of recur.
Okay.
I don't want to ask the same questions every time.
Yeah.
It's unfair. Like, here's what I was going to say.
Okay.
I can't help myself. We fly into Boston, major city.
Yeah.
It's too early to book it, obviously. We're months away. It's January right now. But our flight's arriving where we would arrive and then go to a hotel and then have an evening, or is it arriving at 10:30 p.m. where we're probably just going to sleep, or we're too early. But I'm thinking about PTO, which I hate to think about, but I have to.
Yeah, the cheapest way was to fly Wednesday to Wednesday. So
yeah, and it's unfair for me to ask that question because I did the research on mine because I had thought of it. Oh, so it's unfair that I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about PTO because this is the only trip I'm going to take this year, probably.
Amazing.
Not really.
Well,
it's a little sad.
I like this. This is a good idea.
Besides, the obvious ones like your family doing that thing in June and
yeah, that'll be fun.
Christmas, whatever we're doing, we're probably coming back to Kansas City. So,
if you're curious, June we're gonna have a family reunion golf tournament.
It's a golf bonanza. So anyway, I didn't really think about PTO. I feel like I can make pretty much anything work, and so
nice. Not
worried about it. I didn't think about it all that much. But anyway, so the lighthouses are the main focus of Cape Cod. It's a smorgasbord of lighthouses.
A lot of them, yeah.
And there's a lot of lighthouses that look very similar. They're just like Nauset Light, but they're all white. And it is unbelievable. Every single one that looks like Nauset Light, someone comments, leaves a review on Google, and they're like, and this is the lighthouse that's on the chip bag. And I'm like, no, it's not. How can you say that when they don't know. The chip bag, it's half red. None of these lighthouses are half red.
People don't know.
And for some reason, they look at the other ones that look exactly the same, but are all white. And they're like, this is the chip bag.
The Cape Cod chips.
If you don't know, then don't say anything.
That's so funny.
If you're not certain.
Well, isn't a little bit history note? Isn't that because of that contract we talked about? There was some East Coast people who drew up a lighthouse plan, like some engineers.
Oh,
and they went and built a bunch of them.
Was that Nauset Light?
I think Nauset Light was one of them. One of that pattern.
I have no idea.
And didn't they built the West Coast? Remember I talked about Alcatraz Island?
Yeah.
You
had the 8 lighthouses that were built, but I don't think the East Coast had something like that because the East Coast was full of lighthouses all at different times because that's where.
Yeah, well, lots of history.
The side that we came
lots
to.
Of trade, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember. I think for a lot of regions where the lighthouses are close together, they're all built after the same design because they're around the same time as well. But anyway, I don't have pictures of all these lighthouses, but I just figured if we want to see them, we can look them up. But flights around $300, rental car figured around $300 more or less.
That's true.
And then other $100 for parking and entry fees because it's one of these things about Cape Cod is that it's so popular for their beaches that if you want to park at a beach, you have to pay like $20. It's like
California's that way too.
Pretty stiff
park entry
fees. To get into because we wouldn't go to the beach to lay down. We go to the beach to walk to the lighthouse, and then it's like, oh, we just paid $20 to walk to the lighthouse and come back. So anyway, there's a lot of that going on where it's like you'll have to park here, and it's about $20, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah,
I think that's good. It depends where we go. I said it's just like California. I've got family that lives out there, and when I go to visit, at least as a kid, we'd like, oh my god, it's $20 to go to the beach.
Yeah,
it's like. Yeah, because there's enough people. I assume this is East Coast.
Yeah,
more people.
And it's per car load, so you could come with your family. It wouldn't be awful, but for just parking there for a second, I'm sure we could find alternatives and just walk through. Pay $3 for it being if you're just walking in. Yeah, then it's $3. So anyway, it's just random little cost things. Airbnb was like 150 to 200 a night, but that's Airbnb. We could find other places to stay that aren't.
Yeah, there might be somewhere it's worth spending more, and other places it's worth saving.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to stay in a lighthouse on Cape Cod, and it is so expensive. Like, I know that staying in a lighthouse is a special experience, and that's why they have an auction for it at the USLHS every year. But dang it, like, it's like minimum, like 2-night minimum, and it's $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I found one a heck of a lot cheaper. One of my proposals, you'll see.
Well, my other proposal also has one, so eat that.
I was thinking maybe we'd propose the same places.
That's what I was concerned about too. I was like, you've seen mine, right? That's why.
Oh, no. See, I'm a man.
That's why, no, if you had used my 2024 trip proposition Excel sheet where I had sheets for your name.
Nice,
yeah, I had Emily 1 and 2 and Vince 1 and 2. And then the general locations list is where you could see. I had Vince here with your 2 spots.
Duluth.
Yeah. Get out of here.
All right.
Okay, so lighthouses, I have notes for all of them, random things.
To do in Duluth.
Yellow means that there's some stipulation to visiting it. That means we may or may not go, depending on like what we're feeling.
Less likely.
Yeah. Red means we can't get there. And
Bird Island sounds so cool.
Yeah. I think you can see that one from a golf course.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then I have notes for all of them. If the text is gray, that means it does not have a stamp. If it's black, that means it does have a stamp. For people that don't know, it's the USLHS Lighthouse Passport Program, where if you visit a lighthouse and you have a picture, like proof that you went there, you get a stamp for it in your passport. You get a passport for like $17. And then if you fill the entire thing with stamps, I think it's like 80 lighthouses or something like that. I'll have to look it up. And you scan all the pages and you send it in to the USLHS. They'll send you a patch. And so your first passport, you get a... I've seen the light patch, and then the second patch, like they get more and more intricate as you, and there's like
Illuminati.
Yeah. I automatically agree with things you say, and then I'm like,
sounds right.
Process.
Yeah. Illumination.
Yeah. So it's really fun, super cool. I have no stamps except for the ones that they ship every year. It's like, 2023 stamp, and you can tape it in your passport book.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that
and
idea.
It's very cheap. You don't have to pay anything unless you can donate $2. And if you go somewhere and a lot of stamps, you don't get them at the lighthouse. You go somewhere else to get the stamp and then bring proof that you went to the lighthouse, and then they'll stamp it there. So that's kind of like if you become part of the passport group, which is the $18 or something like that. Maybe $20 for a year. They'll send you a password so that you can access the page on USLHS that tells you where you get the stamps for each lighthouse that participates in the stamp program.
Very cool.
So anyway, if it's black, that means there's a stamp. If it's gray, that means there's no stamp. So obviously a lot of the lighthouses on Cape Cod have stamps. It's the most exciting thing of my life. First one, West Dennis. These are in no particular order except for they're in no particular order.
Oh, yeah. Expensive.
So, yeah, this West Dennis Lighthouse is like, it's an inn that has a lighthouse on top. And I thought for sure it wouldn't have a stamp because it doesn't look official. It looks like someone built a lighthouse hotel.
A modern one, yeah.
Yeah, but this is one of the ones that has 2-night minimum. It's very expensive. But I only read one review that said they couldn't get there unless they were staying at the inn. So either everyone else was staying at the inn or, So, Sandy Neck I've heard of, but it's private and you can't walk there. I said, boo.
Shame.
There's that. Nobska Lighthouse I don't know how to pronounce it, but it has like 3 parking spaces. And so you have to kind of figure out parking. And they said they had to drive around for a while until one opened up and then park. So I'm assuming there isn't parking nearby and maybe we would just Uber from somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to do that for a lighthouse. East Chop is one of the ones, anytime I say the island, I'm talking about Martha's Vineyard.
Okay.
So this is one of the ones that's on the island.
I bet they're beautiful. I just hear that's a beautiful place.
Yeah. So. I'm pretty sure it's like...
So is Cape Cod.
Expensive, isn't it?
I believe it is. Yeah.
So that's one of them. Ned's Point doesn't have any notes, assuming that means we can just go right up to it. Cape Podge is another one on Martha's Vineyard. You have to make a reservation to go there because they drive you to the lighthouse, I'm pretty sure. So you ferry there and then go to the pickup spot, and then they drive you out there on like a, not like a four-wheeler, but
side by side.
Something that can
Gator
handle getting over there. Butler Flats, crib style baby.
Cool. So we're not getting there.
No, but you can see it from the water or the shore, I'm pretty sure. And then Great Point is also on Martha's Vineyard, maybe? Let me see.
If we get a Jeep Wrangler, we could get there. Which
Yeah,
actually isn't laughable. They sell them they rent them at Enterprise.
We could. There's a couple of them that it's like, oh, we could go here, but we'd need
to
either hike for a while or, excuse me, what am I looking up? Oh, yeah.
Jeep Wrangler.
No.
Two-door.
Nantucket. Oh, Great Point. Okay, so we'd have to ferry here. Oh, that doesn't seem doable.
Nantucket. Who knows?
I was thinking really.
As we get more into research, we might look at. I mean, we just don't know.
Yeah.
It might be worth a day there.
True.
Because it's way out. I bet it's gorgeous. I don't know.
So anyway, Bird Island is the one from the golf course, and I have it over there in fun things to see. It's the Kit and Set.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is public, and
nice.
It has great reviews, so we could golf there, and that's at the base of. It's over here, I believe. Here it is, Kit and Set.
Would you mind giving me a little clicky? Oh, Bird Island. So I am recently getting into golf.
Here's one of them.
We played. I played so terrible. I lost 9 balls in 9 holes.
Yeah.
But I played 9 holes in the Outer Banks, and I just loved it. It was gorgeous, especially playing golf around Kansas City.
Ship.
That's a cool ship. Cool. Pretty.
Yeah. So, see how close this is to Bird Island Light. So this is really like getting into the golf course and playing is probably about the only way that you could see it, like the closest way that you could see this lighthouse. And then there's Cleveland Ledge Lighthouse. You can't see that one either, but it's pretty far out there.
Some binos.
Some what?
Binoculars.
Some binos.
Some nods.
That was the other one. Crib style baby. I was having a lot of fun researching these.
3 Sisters.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
We got 3 Sisters. I would assume you park at Nauset Light, and then if you go west, there's 3 Sisters. If you go east, there's Nauset Light. So Nauset Light's on here. We'd be able to see that. And Highland Lighthouse, another one you can drive up to. Long Point Light Station, Seawood End. Okay, because these 2 are together. This is the hike I was talking about that I'm really excited about. If we do go, I'm totally in. It's a long story, but basically, no. It's not like it's at sea level the whole time. So you're not like climbing anything. It's a hike, basically a long walk where you may struggle sometimes. So you require, we could hike there and back, but it would be like 6.5 miles, and I'm not signing up for all of that. So you can take a 10-minute, $20 ferry to the tip of Long Point, and then it's like a 3-ish to 4-ish hour hike back the other direction.
No way. We would beat that time.
Okay, you're probably right. I thought you were vetoing it. I was like, you can't do this to me.
Like, I'm thinking. So I've done most of my hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah,
and those will be half a day. 5-6 hours would be a couple of miles and a couple thousand feet in elevation, like really difficult mountain in half a day,
climbing kind of stuff.
I don't mean to sound cool because I'm going to get old too, but I'm guessing the average person doing this walk is really much slower than we would be.
Like retired,
yeah, active retired.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I shouldn't talk trash. I'll probably injure myself on a flat surface here soon.
That would be hard. I don't know how I'd get you back.
Just leave me there.
Yeah, just be like, you know what? Just wait for the tide to come in and take you out. So I have a picture down here of what
cool.
Long Point looks like. And I got this from a guy who talked about how you could do this whole hike. I can't figure out how to zoom in for the life of me.
Control plus.
I tried. Wait, what?
Control plus.
Oh, thank you.
Gotcha.
Trying to open the insert menu? No. So here we have Long Point. This is the very end of Cape Cod. So it goes whop right at the end. And I believe you take the ferry from here or here and take it to Long Point Lighthouse. There's this little beach over here that people apparently like to spend the day at or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the hike takes you along this outside edge if you want to see Woodend Lighthouse. And then you take this little path here back to this, which is Long Point Dike. And it's super cool. I would love...
Careful.
You. This is the one that I was looking at. It's this whole thing. So
I may have to eat my words. If we were on sand takes a lot of energy to walk on.
It's mostly sand.
That's probably what it is.
This dike is really the reason I want to do this. I'm pretty sure it's like miles long.
Rip rap.
Yeah. So this is, time 4.5 hours to go there and back. So that's not awful, but it's 6.54 miles.
Yeah.
That's where I got this picture.
It said easy cardiovascular but difficult terrain. So if you were like unstable.
Yeah, ankles.
My grandparents for a long time, like they couldn't go to the beach because of unstable ground.
Oh. But yeah, so he was talking about there's 12 parking spaces along the actual dike, but since we would be taking a ferry, we could park at the ferry. Yeah, and then like Uber back. I don't know. I'm not concerned about the distance between.
We could walk, yeah.
Yeah.
Weather would be the only downside if it was rough weather.
Yeah. So anyway.
That looks cool. I would do it.
Hang on a second. How long is...
I can't wait to show you my idea.
Long Point Dike. So it's over a mile long.
6,000 over a mile. Wow.
So it's super cool. And they said that...
58.20? Is that a mile?
52.80? I don't know.
Either way, 5,000 something.
Yeah.
Engineers.
We don't even know. Stinking imperial units.
Our teachers told us we'd never have calculators, and they were
really wrong.
Wrong. So
I could look it up every time if I wanted to.
We're just professional Googlers.
Yeah. So that's Long Point. They said you have to go at a very specific time of day because parts of the point and parts of the dike get dicey with the tide coming in. Yeah, like it hovers.
You're half a mile out in the dike and it starts to disappear.
It's like, I guess I'll turn around.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. There's 2 lighthouses. You can't climb either of them, but you can see them. I think it's fun. They both have stamps and they look really similar. So then we have Race Point, 2-mile hike through soft sand is what they said. And has an inn where you can stay for the 2 nights for $1,000. I said crazies. And I think this is also the one, Race Point's on the very tip or the very end of Cape Cod. And I think they said that you have to bring your own linens, you have to bring your own food and water, and they like drive you out there, but it's really like you're on your own kind of thing. And I'm paying $1,000.
I'm sure it'd be cool. It sounds like it's for locals, It's for people who are more wealthy than I am, who are driving from one of the northeast cities that is not far. Boston
or like people that have already seen and stayed at lots of lighthouses and now they're looking for like the special stuff where it's not as simple. So so that's on there. We could go see it and then come back. It's not like we could still go see it. We
probably just outside of our budget, but
can't stay there. And then Edgartown Harbor Lighthouse. This is also Martha's Vineyard. It's easy walk and $5 to enter.
Oh, those Race Points on Martha's Vineyard too?
No, Race Point's the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is Edgartown Harbor. West Chop is also Martha's Vineyard. You can't go on the grounds, but people have said it's just as worth it to go see it from the road because it's like right there.
It sounds like a really good steakhouse. West Chop Lighthouse. Just because Chop and House are both in there.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry.
Agreed.
You might have to just smother them. Bo the cat is chewing on several cords at once. You know, cats and podcasts really don't go together. I've got to say.
He needs so much attention. I don't know how this happened. He used to like ward off human touch with like his fury.
He has another cat to fight now. Gets his fight out of him.
And now he's like, "Mommy, can you hold me
He's
while
like,
you
I'm
do
so
that?"
sweet.
I'm like, where'd you come from? Anyway, Hyannis Harbor Light is also available for us to go to. That's one of the places that I mentioned we could stay at. Oh, it feels good on my feet. Nice little heater.
Take a break.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
Stage Harbor Light, you need to walk to it, but it's a short walk, and they don't have a stamp. So that would be one of the first ones I'd cut from our plan. And then
No
Chatham
stamp.
Light, which is the one that, had a twin light and gifted it to Nauset.
Yeah, not Chatham, but Chatham, like you said.
Maybe it is Chatham.
I thought we went over that. No, it's like Eastham.
It's East.
Chatham.
No, it's East Ham and Chatham. Like Eastham.
Eastham.
I
It's
heard.
East Ham,
I
not
heard
Eastham.
that it's East Ham,
People are saying.
and it's strange because it's supposed to be Eastham.
Is that our buddy, Captain Cecil?
I didn't ask him that, but
We should talk to him if we go up there. See if he's
oh
available.
yeah, definitely. I remember
me some free
Susan
coffee.
Abbott. Susan Abbott said that she would take us on a tour of the lighthouse if we went. Who's the vice president of the owner of the lighthouse?
Oh, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the one who sent us a bunch of merch. Yeah, from Nauset Light.
That was really nice.
Woo, woo. All right.
I wish we had recorded video of us.
No, I don't think
for
so.
moments like that.
So the other fun things to see in Cape Cod that I think we'd be interested in, we've got the Windaw Pirate Museum, we've got Nantucket Shipwreck and Life-Saving Museum, we have the Golf Club, Coast Guard Heritage Museum, which has its own stamp. So it's not just lighthouses, people. Stamps everywhere. Stamps. There's a drive-in theater for $15 that plays 2 random movies, and it could be like from any era at any time.
At the same time?
Well, no, you see them back to back. You ever been to a drive-in theater?
No, we have one here, but I've never been.
My God. That used to be like the go-to date when I lived in Texas.
Sounds like a very Texas thing.
Yeah, as like a high schooler, they had they had an ice rink that was not ice because it's Texas. Yeah, and you can like buy food and stuff. It's really fun. And then Beachcomber, it's a U.S. life-saving station that turned into, quote, best bar on the Cape and Islands.
What?
It was an award that it won.
I want to see that.
Isn't that awesome? We would have so much fun. We'd go to a bar at night and it used to be a life-saving station.
Yeah, that'd be great.
How cool is that? And then seafood, of course.
We could get some Alaskan duck fart shots.
They'll be like, I'm sorry, what? That's the other side of the U.S. You
We're
guys
more-
are disgusting.
We're more East Coast. We don't do duck fart shots.
It is so bizarro. Oh.
That's cool.
Okay, so the other general notes is that Cape Cod's generally an expensive place to visit, but I think we could, because we're not there for luxury beach living, we could make it work in a way that's not quite so expensive.
Mm.
Getting onto a beach costs money. The highs are in the 70s in June through September, so if we wanted to go, it would be during those times when it's as warm as we can get it.
Sure.
Like, I don't want it to be toasty. Like, I don't want the sun beating down on me while I'm hiking across this dike, but I also don't want to be cold. I don't have to bring all jeans and stuff. And then most lighthouses closed for viewing after Labor Day, so we would have to go at least before early September.
Yeah, because of the weather, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, that wasn't like a yeah. I was putting it together slowly.
Oh, yeah, and I put on here, can stay in Boston one day to see Boston Light, and then I found out that they have restricted access now, so.
So there's too much traffic, you think? Too much foot traffic? Like they're wearing it out?
I think things are changing because Sally is retiring. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to figure it out. Like, what's the
Who's
future
gonna-
of the light
yeah.
going to be like?
Who's
And
going to work there? What does it
yeah,
look like?
exactly.
You know, I actually read an article, which is, I usually say that when I watch a YouTube video or TikTok, but I actually
Oh
read
my
an
gosh.
article.
I'll keep that in mind.
I know. I'm the worst. Millennial. The article I was talking about was big. So after COVID, there's a huge boom of international tourism, especially in Western Europe. And there's certain, Germany, France, I think Italy had some of this too, where there's really popular tourist attractions like that everyone knows about. If you're going to go to Rome, you're going to go see A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
And they're restricting more and more, like we saw when we were in Spain,
Yeah.
entry, because
Because getting beat up.
There's too many humans.
Yeah.
You can't have everybody go through the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
You can't. It's small and it's really special, and it should be. It should remain that way. It shouldn't be you have 10 seconds, don't stop your feet.
Yeah.
You should be able to go in there, look up at the ceiling, and
enjoy
10 minutes,
it. Yeah.
At your leisure, you leave. And that's how it is now. Of course, they have a guy every couple seconds, no talking, silencio,
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just the world we're in. I'm happy to be a tourist. I'm one of them. I'm one of the problem, right?
Yeah.
But it's curious that there's so many people, especially with the boom of travel after COVID, where no one could travel, where we have to manage and protect things. And it's to keep it from becoming only the wealthy can do it. They have to come up with new systems that, it's not just cost prohibitive, but instead it's somehow or otherwise a raffle or controlled or
Yeah.
You get carried away.
It has to be harder to get in and see really cool things because otherwise it would just be, no one would like the experience of going if it was just absolutely packed with people, or if it's like you said, like you have 15 seconds and then get out. It's like, they wouldn't even be worth it. You want people to go and appreciate things and actually have it be a positive experience and not.
I'll say,
because Google reviews are everything these days.
They are. It's
Someone
super
said,
important.
hey, it's not worth going because you don't actually get to see it for very long. Then people wouldn't show up, and then what are you going to do?
Yeah. If you don't, no business, no business. I was thinking our Outer Banks, we actually got to sit outside of multiple lighthouses and record with headphones and microphones. We looked a little goofy, but it was really cool. And people were really nice. I was trying not to step on their experience.
Yes.
So we were being quiet and we were sitting further away, but we could still see. But people were really nice, and it wasn't too busy. It wasn't too loud. It was a beautiful area. It was a good experience. I was just thinking about that. I don't want to go. Imagine you're in front of the pyramids and you're recording and ruining everyone's.
We saw Body Island before we saw Currituck. I'm taking that back. Because Body Island, I cried outside of it because it was the first lighthouse. Yeah, and I couldn't climb it because of my foot. Yep. You're like, are you happy? And I'm like, yeah. And you were like, oh. Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
That was a hard time.
She has yet to climb a lighthouse. And this trip will be the time.
It's unbelievable that I have not climbed a lighthouse.
In Sweden, we got blue lighthouse there.
That would have been the day. The first day I got to climb a lighthouse, and I was thwarted again.
Yeah, what do you do?
Anyway, so let this be the year where I get to climb a lighthouse for the first time. For the love of God.
Yes, let's make it happen.
Okay, so anyway, Cape Cod, it's my first pitch. It's a lot of driving. Apparently not as much as you're planning. Tons of lighthouses, so many that we'd have to select which ones we want to go see. And there's a bunch of other things we can go do. Mainly like food, nightlife, golf. Yeah. Martha's Vineyard, Boston, stuff like that.
Just a couple days too would be nice.
More than a couple days.
Well, I mean the days you had shown, like it's like I would love to do a lot of things that we won't be able to do unless we move jobs or retire.
I know it.
Because even if we save the money, we're just professionals. We both work at a great company.
Yeah.
I would never say anything negative about the company as far as their PTO goes. It's generous, but we're just normal working people.
Yes, we're part of the corporate
world. You can't
world.
take a month and go to, there's a guy, the story, so I'll be brief, but there's a guy I know who wants to ride a motorcycle across. You can't do it today for other reasons, but across Russia, there's a Trans-Siberian highway he wants to go on, which sounds so cool. Like adventure motorcycling, middle of nowhere.
Terrifying.
Nowadays, you'd be shot at, but that's its own.
Oh.
There's a war going on, all that. Ukraine.
Shoot at people in Russia.
Anyways, yeah, you got to find time. So sorry for my babbling.
That's fine. So that's my first pitch.
Very good.
Dunzo.
I like it. Thank you very much.
First lighthouses in Massachusetts. We get to see.
Hit the cheer.
Oh, which one?
Cheer. Yellow. Thank you. But before we continue, what time is dinner?
7:45.
So we need to leave here at 7.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be good. We'll be fine.
Yeah, this is taking so much longer than I anticipated.
We might go up till 7, but that'll be okay.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Do you want me to take over?
Yes. I'm excited. Come on, Vince. Come on.
So.
Oh.
I felt like there's something else I was going to say. Maybe it'll come up organically. I'm going to put you down.
Oh, what?
Well, change the screen. Am I recording my screen still? Yeah.
You're all good.
Thank you. I panicked. I was like, what did I do?
Fear.
I just lost
Fear.
this 54 minutes. We can't get back.
Oh, God.
Okay. So
Here we go.
there is nothing to do in Duluth, Michigan, in Minnesota.
Duluth. Vince.
Lake Superior.
No. If you had used my Excel sheet, this wouldn't happen. Instead, you went off and did your own thing.
I did.
Vincent.
So I've got, just like you, I've got 2 proposals.
Good heavens.
This is the first. I'll be honest with you. The second one's more exciting to me.
Okay. Is this the one you spend a bunch of time on?
No.
Okay, so this is your second choice. Okay, well.
Well, let's just go through it.
I'm mad at you.
We have all the world to explore. I bet you we have different ideas.
Well, we better, but you have Split Rock here on the screen.
I'm sure we share some of the lighthouses
Because you didn't use my Excel sheet.
Now everyone will forgive me. All right.
And I was so excited too. I'm just kidding.
Gosh, this is savage. The emotion is real down.
Okay, I'm ready.
Glad you're ready. Lake Superior.
Yes.
Lighthouses, ghost tales, the largest lake on earth, and friends of the Lighthouse Lowdown.
Wait, Lake Superior is the biggest?
It is the largest body of fresh water.
Like by volume?
I think surface area. I can't remember which one. I looked it up. I wish I don't remember. I should have known you were going to ask that.
You know me.
So, where did we go?
Goodness gracious. Look at all this driving.
Where did we go? We'd fly into Milwaukee. So this is I'm running into stubbing my toe right away on. I don't know how to make this a nice round trip, and maybe your proposal will, and I'd be curious to see it.
Okay.
So let me just throw mine first, and yours may be better, and you'll see why. But I was looking at flights. So Marquette, I wanted to talk to our friends in Marquette, and that's part of this. We're going to cover that. But I was looking, if we were going to go to Marquette, just Marquette on its own, just for like a weekend, just to meet people, see a lighthouse or 2, volunteer, whatever we could do there. My trip was either us driving from Kansas City, because flights aren't great, or flying through Chicago, which is still, I think, 5 or 6 hours of driving. Yeah. It's not really much help. It's like halfway there.
There's no happy medium.
This is what I did find, and I'll show you flights and such. But Milwaukee, flying in, and then driving up. This is the bridge we just covered. We just covered Mackinac, Old Mackinac Point. And there's the other one, McGulpin Point is there. That's one day. So you'll see. We drive up here, go there, go to Marquette, Copper Harbor, Sand Bay, which I have a caveat we'll get to.
Okay.
Split Rock is as far as we go up the west side, because then we'd go back to fly home through Minneapolis, St. Paul. So some of these slides.
Big Bay.
Yeah, some of these slides
I was just about to say.
Super sexy, but.
I was just about to say that if we were to do this, going past Marquette, we would have to stop at Big Bay.
Well, in Big Bay, if I remember, is over west between Duluth and Marquette, right?
I thought it was it was before Copper Harbor.
I don't remember. We'll find out. So the other presentation, this has more on it. Okay. So for this one, it's just Big Bay. You can climb it.
Stay there.
It's inside of the bed and breakfast. It's also a nice bed and breakfast. I think the room and rate I saw was something like $300 for the night.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
The nice rooms were gone for the week that I was looking at.
Oh, wow.
I say nice rooms.
Booked
I don't mean to trash the room, but the keepers' rooms, the nicest, biggest rooms were all previously booked. I assume by people who really plan ahead, because
we're actually slacking.
My little boot emoji.
Okay.
My little boot symbol, as you see, that means we can climb the lighthouse. Oh. The eye means you can see it. So a boot implies both.
Okay.
There's some that we can see and can't climb.
Very fancy presentation plan.
Yeah. So why? Obviously, you've known this, but maybe our listeners don't. This is Lake Superior in the bottom largest image. These images are from our lighthousefriends.com.
Yes. Okay.
So Big Bay is there. It's not far from Marquette, right kind of center screen. But the point is, there's lots of lighthouses. These are the, oh my gosh. What islands? I forget what they're called. That group of islands.
Yeah. Top.
I can't remember that. Yeah. And then on the top right, this shows the peninsula, the Keweenaw. I'm terrible.
I don't.
The point is there's lots of lighthouses. Ain't no way we'd see all of them. We'd pass by a lot. We'd have to choose just select ones.
Yeah. Oh, see, here's Marquette Harbor, Big Bay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was saying.
So, and it doesn't even include Michigan down here, the cross that we would go on if we wanted to.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty area. So, I'm looking at that one, those two lighthouses there. I say that one. The first two we already discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Marquette Harbor and maybe Breakwater. If we could, I don't know if it's so bold to ask, be taken to Standard Rock. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we could ever ask to go on it. I think that's way too much to ask.
They mentioned that we could.
I mean,
go.
I would love to.
Yeah.
But
they mentioned they could arrange for us to go, but I think he said it would be by boat, didn't he?
I haven't reached out to
and
these.
it's like hours. I mean,
Carl
the first time we
Lindquist,
talked to him, yeah.
So if you're interested, Standard Rock is a really cool episode. I don't know what number, but Carl Lindquist and Fred Stonehouse, we talked to both of them. Fred's an author, writes about a lot of things, but including Great Lakes, lighthouses. Carl Lindquist is the founder of a group that does many things for environmental study, but also owns Standard Rock Lighthouse today. So go listen to that conversation. But those are our friends there, as well as Trish and what was the other gal's name with Youper Paranormal?
Trish and Susan, I want to say.
That sounds right. But it'd be awesome to get together at a brewery, if nothing else. Say, hey, we're going to be there. We'd love to hang out. Maybe we could record. I don't know if we want to. We just want to meet them, say hi. Either way, Marquette, there are these islands. What are they called? They'll come up again. You'll see, because there is multiple lighthouses. There's sea kayaking with caves.
Like to each one. Oh, that's fun.
That's coming up. And then, of course, Split Rock is gorgeous, and Duluth is a cool town. I was making fun. I was looking up this morning what to do in Duluth. That's why I said there's nothing to do there.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the sea kayaking. I just looked up one company, and this is from their website, but they have half-day expedition. They also have a full day. You see a couple lighthouses with a full day one, but it's all in a group. You stay with the group the whole time. There were some reviews that people were complaining they had to carry their own kayaks. So I thought that was funny.
Like, what did you think you were gonna do?
We are not sea kayakers, but we are flatwater kayakers. So I think this would be a cool way to see a lighthouse that I haven't found another way to do that.
Yeah.
Fred, I love this picture. So there's a lot we could do. The Black Cat Coffee House is, oh my gosh, I don't remember where it's at. I should have written it down, but it's on the path, on the trail. That's a picture just Google came up with Marquette, Fred Stonehouse, big there. And then, of course, Youper Paranormal.
Very nice.
So some of the flights, $259. This is in May. So this is early season.
Cheap.
But this would be a week that would include.
Oh, May.
What's that holiday? Labor Day?
No.
Memorial Day. I'm terrible. Memorial Day. Coffee's got me. So it's not a bad price.
We're both thinking Wednesday to Wednesday. It's probably cheap everywhere for Wednesday.
Yeah, and it's not a bad price to do a multi-city trip. And then, so the steps: fly to Milwaukee, drive, fly home, Minneapolis. So the drive for that week is $500 for, that's actually a good rate. But again, it's because we're not going back to the same airport. That's why it's so high.
Okay.
For a standard car. And then there's always the option of a nicer car because we're driving far. Just if we had extra budget, I don't think we do. But $70 different for a fun car. Yeah. It's a lot of miles. So we'll see. And then that's kind of an overview of the map. I didn't anytime in the summer or fall. Apparently the fall is really pretty there. You may have more knowledge on that. But this is the trip I didn't research as much because I kind of got stuck on this. I was like, I don't
like how
think
to make
of
it
a way
round
where we're not going to make the same road twice. And it's you may know. But anytime summer or fall, we could go if we're just going to go to Marquette, which is a different conversation, it's not this trip.
Yeah.
We could go in February because it's dang cold. But Fred Stonehouse, I think, was the one who brought it up.
Yeah.
The Up 200, the UP 200, Upper Peninsula, sled dog race. There's apparently a bunch of stuff going on in that town. And then this is just my ending one that shows Marquette Harbor Light, which we love. It's red.
So pretty.
So pretty. But I wasn't even sure if I wanted to pitch this trip because I don't have a way that I've worked it out.
Yeah, I don't have the full plan laid out yet.
You may.
So what was all that driving amount?
I have a spreadsheet.
Because you know how much I love road trips.
Oh, I wish that wasn't true.
Well, you don't have to date me.
Drive. Total miles. 1,287. And these are the 6 hours, 2.5 hours, 7 hours. That would be revised, and you'd see why. But these 0 minutes mean we stay 2 nights there in these locations.
Oh.
So we'd stay 2 nights at Marquette, 2 nights, which I would change, Sand Bay. I thought it would be like really cool with those islands. There's not, I don't mean to insult it. The islands are what I want to see. There's not like a nice place I'm dying to stay there that I found. Yeah. There is an Indian reservation that owns that coast,
wow, cool.
Which I think plays into that.
Yeah.
There's just different types of businesses available.
So that's about 21 hours of driving.
Yeah, it's a lot. So Duluth to Minneapolis, maybe that's what you're looking at, is not far.
Yeah.
But it is, Midwest driving. It's just we're not on a coastline.
Uh-huh.
So I've made, there's math in here, lodging estimates and cost estimates.
Holy mackerel.
This is not worked out as well as the other one is, but it's not cheap. What I'm estimating, and don't look at that.
Oh. I didn't see anything.
I'm going to close this. It's more complete on the other presentation, but I want to go up here, and I hate this. I feel like I'm stepping on your jokes because you're about to go up after me with talking about Duluth. But I don't think this is the right way. I've got to massage it and figure it out. And I don't know that it warrants a trip like we're talking about compared to my other one I'm going to present. I'm so in love with it for other reasons, and you'll see why.
Okay.
And this one I think is interesting, but I don't have an emotional tie. What I really want to do is see Marquette and the people we've met, because that means a lot to me.
Agreed.
The other, I'm sure all of the Great Lakes have beautiful things to do and see, but you'll see. I'm emotionally tied to the other option.
Yeah.
But this would be a lot of fun. If we did even just like took off and just did this exactly, and it's not worked out, I still think it'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of driving. The other one's not as much driving.
Yeah.
Asterisk.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You weren't thinking about me at all when you did these.
I was. It's hard. It's something we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's hard to go see lighthouses, multiple, if you're not willing to make road trips, because there's almost none that are in cities. Like Chicago has one, Boston has one, multiple, but one I can think of that's notable. But it's when we're looking at doing these type of trips, they're kind of road trips after you fly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, none of mine are, because I hate it.
So Cape Cod, you talked about, it's about 3 hours to get to the end of it.
Yeah.
If we were to make that drive.
Mm-hmm.
So probably an hour or two on the thing each day if you're going to go somewhere on to a lighthouse. It's probably 30 miles an hour, small roads. It's just not like a highway, I'm guessing. Through Eastham, and I'm not saying that to try to discount your ideas.
No.
I like your ideas.
It's a highway. Highway 6.
Drop a boy.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
You've never seen drop a...
No, I've never seen you drag and drop a little dude.
Yeah. How do you look around places then?
I don't.
I thought you said you and your mom were talking about how you love to look around.
Well,
40.
That's for like other things.
So the highway is a 2-lane road, and in this zone, maybe we're in a town.
Yeah.
But it's 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Take me, my mouse is weird. It jumped back to
like,
Outer Banks.
no.
It's like, you mean Outer Banks?
No, thank you.
So I'm not trying to
No.
discount your
And
trip.
it's 3 hours, including the fact that it's a 40 mile per hour road. And
we're just going to be driving.
I'm not talking about driving from one end to the other end without stopping, no plans or whatever. It's chopped up, and we can stay anywhere, and like it won't be an hour of driving without stopping. It's except for that first day coming back from the airport. I just mean like a 7-hour drive for me is like something I do once a year, and it's even then I'll try and fly because I hate it so much. But sorry.
I mean, I'm just saying if we stay in Barnstable or South Dennis, which is actually on the highway, it's gonna be an hour to get to. Any day we'll go an hour to where we're gonna go. We go an hour plus over here. We go an hour up here. We go an hour and park. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just totally wrong. But if we get to that level of, this is not that conversation, but when we get to that level of detail, I think they'll be driving. And I want to make it better for you. I want your trip to be enjoyable. But it's like we talked about. It's nice if you have the time to stay 2 nights somewhere, 3 nights somewhere.
Yeah.
So I've tried to incorporate that into both of my trips. But so 2 nights and potentially like 3 if we weren't to go over here.
Yeah.
On a budget of a week, which we could change to. And then, maybe 2 in Duluth if there's a nice place to find to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Sand Bay, I want to see it, but I don't particularly want to stay there.
What is it?
That is where I want to find these islands. What are they called?
It's going to drive you crazy.
Apostle Islands. I was thinking Apothecary. I was like, that's not it. So there's lighthouses all over, like at least 3.
Cool.
But
I've heard a couple of those.
Sand Bay is, this hatched area is Indian reservation. And I say that, Native American reservation. I say that because it's like I've noticed in Montana where I have family, in Idaho where I have family, they have different business. Sometimes they don't have hotels. Sometimes they don't want people who are not tribal, part of their tribe, to be in that area. Okay. So it's sometimes restricted for certain activities. Raspberry Island Lighthouse.
Sounds cute. Oh, it is cute.
So
it's a duplex.
But there's not a bunch of places to stay there.
Yeah.
I think the place that I found to go kayaking is somewhere, right there. Apostle Islands, Sea Cave kayaking.
Cool.
Last Creek. It's pretty cool.
I wonder if I have arms for that. You and I would be in the same kayak, so.
We'd be preparing to. If we're going to go on a sand hike or if we're going to be going on a kayak, we got to train to. That's how I like to do it, at least. You don't have to follow my advice. I prepare for vacations, and I really enjoy them. Yeah. I'm going to work out anyways, so.
That's true.
Anyways, so I'm going to stop talking because I think I'm soiling my presentation. This is my short one. This is the one that's less thought out. You want to take back over?
Yes.
Okay.
Pitch number 2, Emily Strait coming in. Can you just, yeah.
I was like, you can drag it to the top.
I was like, so.
Duluth.
As we've discovered, my other suggestion is Duluth, Minnesota. And this is because we just covered Split Rock, and there's actually a lot of lighthouses around there that are very interesting. Mm-hmm. And I included this little picture so you can see that most of the stuff we'd be doing are all like around the same area. And so we'd be staying in Duluth a large majority of the time.
Cool.
So, and there is a airport in Duluth International Airport. So it's a little more expensive, like $500, $600 in the summer to travel. I was thinking July and August, also the high of 70s because it's northern. It's another northern area. And it's not a beachy vacation. It's a rocky vacation.
Yeah.
So it'd be lighthouses, but there's also a ton of stuff to do actually in Duluth. And that's where like all these little flags are. There's a ton of them because it's most of this like fun things to see. That's what all those flags are.
Mm-hmm. How do you say that?
What?
Vikra Distillery.
Vikra. Yeah, it's a Nordic distillery, gin distillery.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's like nautical theme and stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones, but that's when I looked up what should I do in Duluth, one of them was this distillery, so it must be pretty cool.
Cool.
So the lighthouses, there's Duluth North and South Pier Lighthouse, which is in that little cluster of flags that I have going on, and that's also Duluth South Breakwater Inner Light. So there's 3 lighthouses there. Split Rock is not in this photo. It's up further along with Two Harbors Lighthouse. And this is the driving path that you can see here. And so the airport's over here. It's like 17-minute drive and then cut between Two Harbors and Split Rock. And then you could just drive back. Like, this is not like a long distance or anything. And Two Harbors you can actually stay at. You can either rent the entire lighthouse, which is like $400 a night.
Cool.
But I wouldn't want it because it's expensive, and it's like 3 rooms and it's expensive. So why would we do that? There's a skiff house, which is $193 a night, and it's off to the side of the lighthouse. But that doesn't mean you can't access the lighthouse. It's like going and visiting it are 2 separate things. So the skiff house is like a couple steps from the keeper's cottage, and it's just a small. It's only for couples, like 2. You get 2 people. That's it. So you can stay there, and then Split Rock is just kind of like a visit thing. You can hike and.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a couple areas that look gorgeous up there.
Airbnbs in Duluth are between like 100 and 300. I feel like we could find some on the lower option to stay for a few nights. And there's a mansion museum. It's really cool. It has great reviews. The aerial lift bridge looks awesome. Lake Superior Maritime Visitor Center. Duluth Lake Walk, Railroad Museum, the distillery, beach and their museum. All kinds of like little things to go see. This would be like Cape Cod would be go, go, go all the time, like going and seeing everything, picking like maybe 2 or 3 lighthouses to see a day. Like if we went to Martha's Vineyard, it would be a whole day of Martha's Vineyard and then ferry back and stay wherever. But this is kind of more of a relaxed, like we just really immerse ourselves in the town and then see a couple of lighthouses.
Yeah, it's my understanding that Duluth, all the Great Lakes are pretty cold water.
Yeah.
So even
it wouldn't be swimming, that's for sure.
Well, like in Marquette, they talked about they have kayak club and swimming as well. But it's, I think it's like 60-degree water late summer, like as warm as it gets.
Madison swims in Lake Superior, right? Outside of, or is it Lake Michigan? Chicago?
I think it's Lake Michigan.
Okay, yeah. That's probably different.
I should know these things.
Whatever.
I think it's cold too.
I think so too. She has to wear like a swim,
like a wetsuit.
Full body, a wetsuit. She doesn't have to, but it's more comfortable that way. Yeah. I've swam in it.
You said that. Oh, that's so funny. You forgot you swam.
It wasn't
there?
that cold. It was a little chilly, but it wasn't like you jump in and it's like.
Well, I don't know. Is it the Atlantic that's warm? I feel like the Atlantic is cold. The Pacific's warm. I'm showing my lack of knowledge today. And
I just put my hands on either side, like, which one? Which one?
Well, so when I've gone to California and swam, it's been cold water. But I have not spent much time on the East Coast. When we were in Outer Banks, I feel like the water was warm, but it was early in the season.
I couldn't get in, so I don't know.
Wasn't it? It
was September, so it was late.
Oh, so it should have been warm as it gets. I don't know.
You only got in to dig the hole.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Either way, Lake Superior, that kayaking adventure website.
They say it's chilly.
They have optional and recommended wetsuits.
Wow.
For you.
Okay.
They're like, well, and you're gonna be out there for hours. So like, if you get sprayed with water, it'd be cold.
Yeah, it would stick around. It would stick with you.
But yeah, Duluth. I don't know much about it. I did the same Googling, and Superior is an adjacent city right there.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
That's the Michigan-Minnesota border.
Minnesota.
Those lighthouses right there, you probably know. That's like Michigan Lighthouse and Minnesota Lighthouse.
Yeah. I have them on there.
Are they on there? Yeah,
Wisconsin Point and
Minnesota. Wisconsin.
Agate, is it Agate or Agate?
I don't
it's
know.
Agate. I think it's that rock.
Rock.
That's Agate Bay Lighthouse. I think is outside of Two Harbors on the beach, and it's like not official.
If I looked up the same ones, these lighthouses are not very grand. They're like
small
stones with a beacon on top.
I think Minnesota Point is abandoned, like rocks, like broken down kind of thing. But they have stamps. So who am I to say no? Yeah. That's my whole pitch.
Cool.
Obviously a lot less effort. Cape Cod was my go-to option.
So what draws you here? Why did you decide Duluth and what?
It was mainly
brought it
Split
up?
Rock. Two Harbors was a place on the auction for the USLHS to stay at. And it looks really fun. Like, I think I would plan on spending like 2 days there.
Mhm.
And one of the days we'd go up to Split Rock and then come back and stay at Two Harbors. So it's like all pretty close around kind of thing.
I think we'd drive to Duluth for every meal. I don't think there's anything else up there.
Yeah, maybe.
Would you mind going to the maps just to look, just for my own curiosity's sake? Like up by Two Harbors, is there a town? Because I don't know. Oh, Two Harbors is the town. Oh, there's Vanilla Beans.
An American restaurant.
Yeah, I think I looked at this.
Coffee.
As well.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
never
golf
mind.
course?
I have to eat what I was saying. There's people.
Yeah,
There's people
some stuff
everywhere.
around.
Oh, there's a
Culver's.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
we're sold.
I did look at Castle Danger Brewery. That was cool.
Where?
Zoom in, go down, south.
Oh.
The Castle Danger is just up the road. I think it's a small town.
Oh, it's big.
But yeah, they have a video and everything I watched. It was cool.
An excellent stout.
So, anyways, yeah, that'd be cool. I like the idea. What are your thoughts on, is it too much of it's too far to go over to
Here.
Marquette?
Oh, yeah, Marquette's too far. Marquette's all the way over here. Let's see.
It's probably a full day.
Just put it generally. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. We'd have to stay there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
Yep, crazier things have happened. Looking for Big Bay. When I look up lighthouses around this area, the Big Bay doesn't show up. There it is. It's right here. Boop.
There it is.
It was super nice. I tried to bid on it, but people went crazy right at the end. It's like stinkers. Anyway, so that's my pitch. And
Very
we could
cool.
expand elsewhere. Like if we wanted to go over here to those lighthouses, I think that would be really cool.
Those are only,
So,
very difficult to view those.
yeah.
Kayak type of thing.
It would be an added thing or sacrifice time here in Duluth.
I was looking at zoom out, please. That Superior National Forest and the coastline up there
Mhm.
with the state forest. This is Thunder Bay. I think we talked about this before, but
Yeah.
this is where it gets really. If you go to like layers and click on Google Earth, you can see the forestation and the wilderness kind of build in. I guess it's all green, but the national forest areas are really pretty going up into Canada.
I was going to say that it's
But without driving, you're not going to see anything like that. Some of our motorcycle rides have gone 3,500 miles in a week. You know, that's sore. That's like the extreme of driving.
right. Yeah, and you enjoy the travel as part of the trip. Like you think of driving as part of the experience.
I just grew up in a small town. We had to drive hours our closest place we ever played sports was 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Hour 20, but we would drive. I remember, no one cares, but like a track meet that lasts all day, we'd have to drive to like Kearney, Nebraska. And it was like 6 to 8 hours, I think, on a bus. And then you'd have a 12-hour track meet and then 6 to 8 hours on a bus.
Yeah.
Like, it's rough. So I grew up driving. So my perception of going from where I lived to Kansas City or where I lived to Colorado was both 6 hours.
Yeah.
5 or 6 hours. So you're not going to like my idea.
You're already so
making me sad.
downtrodden.
So this one I spent way too much time on.
You spent days on this one.
I did.
I was like, have you started your second one yet? And you're like, nope.
Nope. I didn't start until like 2 days ago. So one I did not propose is Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh.
And I'm not going to give you the presentation, but I did prepare some of it.
Yeah. Sun, sea, and sand.
Toby Smith is down there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him in his lighthouse. That'd be cool. But I got really caught up in like staying on Paradise Island
Oh.
and like
What was it? Atlantis?
Atlantis.
Okay.
And like we would have seen one lighthouse or maybe two if we went to see, I forget the other one.
What was it? I was just thinking.
Yeah, see, it's not done. Hook Island. Either way, I'm going to back out of it.
Okay.
The point is, this is the one I started with. This is my
Mhm.
first one. And I stopped because I got frustrated with, well, Nassau, people leave mixed reviews on seeing the city itself.
Mhm.
You know, it's too touristy. It's not tourist enough. You're never going to win. And then Paradise Island, I want to spend time at, but I'm a bit conflicted because I know it's a big, corporation.
Yeah.
With Toby's
yeah,
story. And anyways, so that one I pretty much ditched right
Okay.
away.
So
I'd like to go there, but it won't be.
PNW.
PNW
Pacific
is the Pacific Northwest. Dramatic coastline.
Oh my God.
Snow-capped mountains, lush forests, the graveyard of the Pacific, and Bailey family history.
Oh man.
That's my last name, in case you didn't know. Pacific Northwest. So I have been to maybe 20% of these places that I'm going to cite.
Okay.
And there's a lot.
You can speak for some of it.
So 818 miles plus this is actually really small. This scale. This is a 90-minute ferry. So
Oh, fun.
we'll talk about the ferry, but we're going to go to Canada as part of this. Victoria Island, which is
I've
really
always
cool.
wanted to go to Canada.
It's up north of Cape Flattery Lighthouse there. And then, so my map is split because it wouldn't allow me to show you the ferry.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I've got to say, if we want to cut down on driving, the very last day I included Pike Place Market, which is in Seattle. It's where the original Starbucks is. It's where the market, the public fish market is.
Uh-huh.
It's like, if you wanted to see Seattle, just one thing, it's a cool place to stop.
Have you been there?
I've been there
Okay.
10, 15 years ago. So, but you could cut out several hours by not going there and going instead down that highway to Portland. But let me just give you the walkthrough. We'll see the screen again later.
All right.
Why? Cape Disappointment, you cannot climb, but you can see it. So that's the eye symbol.
You
And
go to it, or you see it from like
both. So there's Dead Man's Cove, which
Mhm.
remember it's
Yes,
like
that's right.
we're talking really short trail.
Yeah.
Down into the cove, and you can see kind of a split rock type of view.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also go on. You can go to it, but it's gated immediately around it. It's not a tourist accessible lighthouse,
Okay.
but you can see it.
Yeah.
Right next to it, across the cove, is North Head Lighthouse, which we talked about was kind of the one that overshadowed Cape Disappointment.
Yeah.
And you can climb it.
Oh, cool.
It's a good tourist destination. Tillamook Rock, you cannot get to. Terrible Tilly, which we didn't air that, did we?
No.
We keep saying that. We have a Terrible Tilly lighthouse story, and it's really interesting. And it's also deteriorated and kind of spooky. So
Yeah.
I don't
full
know if
of
we want to
urns.
physically see it. Full of urns, which no one gets but us. But you can see it from the end of a trail on the coast. And then Cape Mears Lighthouse, we'll talk about that. It's a little shorty.
Oh, so
Climb
cute.
it.
Giant lantern
You
room.
can climb it. Yeah, big first order lens, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Fiskard Lighthouse. There's many lighthouses up in Victoria Island.
I've never seen a lighthouse with a wind vane on top.
Oh, I don't think I have either.
It's interesting.
Really cool.
Oh, I guess the Triangle Island top does too.
It sure does.
It's kind of cute.
So, and so Fiskard is one. There's actually a military base next to it that's like historic as well.
Neat.
But there's the lighthouse you can see. It's a whole experience. You can climb it. Cape Flattery you can't see. Or you can't climb, but you can see it. I can't remember the history there. It's the one that is way north, the very far northwest tip of the United States.
Yeah.
Contiguous United States. And then Triangle Island is in Sook, not Washington, Sook in BC, in Canada.
Yeah.
And I'm planning us staying there. Not at the lighthouse, but you could see the tower. We could do the drive-by. If we got time, we could do the whole experience.
Whole shebang.
But there's many lighthouses. These are the ones that I highlighted. And I actually don't have the lighthouse map on here, but there's a lot of lighthouses on the coast.
Oh, yeah.
So several to climb, several to see, several stamps. International lighthouses as well, which we've never done. Well, you have, I guess. No, yeah. Hawaii's not international.
I know, but I went to Japan.
Oh, that's right. Which one's that?
Noma.
Nomazaki. So some more why. This is one that I saw. So this is Cape Disappointment. You can stay at North Head, Cape Disappointment State Park.
Looks like somewhere that would be haunted.
Because it's in black and white.
I think it's the chairs.
Oh, they're haunted chairs.
Something about those chairs scream haunted to me.
Did you know that afternoon tea and high tea are different?
What's high tea?
High tea is where you sit at a high back dinner chair like those. Afternoon
so it's like
tea
more
is usually,
stiff tea?
That's right. Usually with heavier meals and such.
Afternoon tea is like in a
lighter,
cushy chair?
Low chairs.
Oh.
Yeah. Which we're going to talk about afternoon tea as part of this trip.
Oh my God.
So you can, it's possible to stay at lighthouses. There's a couple different options, and so I didn't select and choose one.
Yeah.
The weather, I saw this as a positive. I looked at going, this is Astoria is where I pulled from, in May. The end of May is the trip, 22nd to 29th, where the highs are in the 60s. Yeah. I like that. You're not probably going to swim in the water.
No.
And you'd wear it. When I think of Pacific Northwest, it rains often, but when it doesn't rain, it's so beautiful, and everything's green and clear skies.
Yeah.
So I like that, but
I don't mind not swimming.
Okay. It's just not beachy.
It's not,
It's very coastal. We're like a lot of water.
We've got rocky and we got beachy. Rocky beachy.
What will we do? These are some of the available
we
Airbnbs
looked at some of these
in Sook. We actually looked at this one, the treehouse, the Owl's Perch.
I like the cabin in Sook.
There's lots of, and it's not just Sook, but around it. I'm going to learn it's called Sook as soon as we go. A lot of them are beachfront, waterfront, tree cabins. It's a beautiful area. We talked about that in our episode of Triangle Island Light. What would we do? Tea at the Empress. So there's a hotel that's been there, I'm going to make this up, since 1900.
That's not super long ago.
In Victoria.
Early 1900? You're going to have to look. Oh, Netflix.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
First off, Victoria is a beautiful town.
Fairmont.
Look at this. So you get the...
I would kill for afternoon tea at Fairmont Empress. I struggled to get that out.
Tea at the Empress. So this is the website. But I did get to do this. And I was like...
You've already done this?
I was like 10, hun. I didn't get to do the whole experience. I got to walk by.
Don't hun me.
Honey. So the tea story, this is what I wanted to show you. Afternoon tea. The seventh Duchess of Bedford found herself peckish around 4 p.m. Dinner was served fashionably late at 8 p.m., so she began to order tea with bread, butter, and cake to her room.
Oh, yeah.
Soon enough, she began to invite her friends to enjoy it with her. By the 1880s, an afternoon tea had become a high-fashion event, served in the drawing room with silver teapots, fine linens, elegant teacups, and world-renowned teas.
I love tea, but only when it's made right.
This is what we're talking about. Like
110 years ago.
A nice tea. It's like $100 a person, roughly.
Holy
moly.
But
it's basically a meal, a bunch of finger foods, multiple teas that are not found in any store anywhere. Very high quality. There's a dress code.
Oh.
It's not like dresses, but there's, it's a respectable event. And I remember doing it with my grandma, and she just passed away.
That's fun. I would kill for some finger sandwiches. Something about cucumber sandwiches sounds incredible when they're cut into little triangles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of random
truffled
words.
Mushroom quiche, smoked salmon, your favorite.
Oh,
ham and cheese.
That sounds amazing.
Shaved ham, rosemary, honey mustard, swish, and brioche.
I love honey mustard.
So, anyways, this is where somewhere on here, the history. That's what I was looking for. So we just read that section. High tea or afternoon tea talks about the height of the chair. High tea is after work. It's often served as a table with high back dining room chairs.
Oh, yes, because it'd be around dining time.
So Tea at the Empress opened over 110 years ago. It's in the harbor, so you see it when we're coming in on the ferry, which is so cool.
National Historic Site.
Yeah, 1908. That's when the hotel opened.
Very nice. So more than 110 years.
Very cool.
So cool.
And I would like to do this if we have the opportunity.
Yeah.
If we make this trip. But I'm going to go back to slideshow mode.
Yeah, I derailed you.
No, I like derailing. It's fun.
And that looks like a super cool theater.
This is one of my favorite experiences I've ever just done on accident. I have been here.
This is the place you were saying. Like you didn't
Theater.
know, you had spare time, so
Yeah.
you just went by yourself.
I was a layover coming home. My mom lives in Boise, Idaho. Boise. And I was in Portland for the night. It was like Thanksgiving plus a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get back to Boise. My flight was canceled, so I was stuck in Portland. And I talked to the hotel manager. I was like, I'm free. It was like 7 p.m. I was like, I've got all night, and I've never been to this city. And they would give me a bunch of options, but this is what they started with. And it wasn't on a pamphlet. It wasn't right up the road.
Yeah.
It's like, so someone owns multiple businesses, and this is part of, so it's not like a one-off.
Right.
But they keep things classy. We can Google it if you want to, but it's very old fashioned. I want to say 1930s. But I sat right there on the right, and I had a peach beer and a burger and popcorn that was fantastic. Downstairs, there's this smoking room and a billiards room.
Whoa.
It's really cool experience. So if we flew into Portland and we had the night again, I would like to do that. Or we're going to fly out, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe not that, but something Portland like. Like, I don't want to live there, but I want to visit for cool stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So that's on the list.
True for most places.
The middle picture, I can't remember which state park this is, but it's one of them that's on the coast. This is kind of what the day would look like. A lot, you'd drive somewhere, you'd park, you would walk, either it's to a lighthouse or a beach or a shipwreck. There's lots of cool stuff that I can give more detail, but I wanted to show what it looks like in the summer. It's beautiful, but it's literally where the pine trees meet the ocean. That's Pacific Northwest. I just love it. And then Lighthouse Brewing Company is up in Canada, in Victoria. They have really cool glasses and such. I've already scoped out if we have. But there's multiple breweries and.
Of course, everywhere we go, there's cool distilleries and breweries and stuff like that.
This area is really well known for microbreweries. Like Pacific Northwest is kind of the birth of it. So.
My gosh. Golf courses.
This is one of the state parks. Oh, man, I'm terrible. I didn't label these, but there's like trails you can walk through the state parks. Yeah. This is Olympic View Golf Club, which is also in Canada, between Sook and Victoria.
Pretty. And
they've got a waterfall by one of the greens. This is the view. I mean,
mountains.
It's public. It's like $100 a round, something like that. So, we
like
don't have to golf, but if we have an opportunity in time, I don't want to go on a golf trip at this time, but
we'd have to rent clubs and everything.
They do have rentals and everything.
Okay, that's good.
And you can book way ahead of time. So look at that, $287 round trip.
So cheap.
It's gone up to over 300, but it's still in that range. This is a Wednesday to a Wednesday, so take that as you will, grain of salt. But one stop on the way there, one stop on the way back, Salt Lake. So it's also up there. Not a bunch of long flights.
Yeah.
Which to me, that's my version of driving. I can't stand multiple stops, and I can't stand long flights. Mm-hmm. But I love to travel. So to me, this is not bad. But
no.
Your version of don't like driving. My thing is flying, because my knees. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm 6'5", and there's this little tiny metal bar on airline seats.
The bane of your existence.
It supports the pocket, and I just wish they'd replace it with a ribbon or something, because it is in the soft part of my kneecap.
Why does it have to be so freaking solid?
Oh my gosh!
It doesn't. It can be floppy.
Anyways, I'll stop.
Well, and there are some pouches on the back of a airplane seat that are like elastic, where it stretches out. Those are so much better for literally everyone, because nowadays people like to bring their own water bottles. Where do I put my water bottle? I can't put it in it's like, hauling
now the whole
this
bar is coming
pouch
out.
open. Yeah, and it's just stick your water bottle in there as hard as you can. So dumb.
It's almost like they don't want you to use it.
Exactly.
So
Like it's
don't
for
put it
paper. Yeah, we don't need it.
Oh. So we are going to drive a bit. This is.
Oh, really?
Here's the deal, though. This driving, you can absolutely disagree, but I'm excited about it because it's on the coast. It's on the. We could take a ferry across the open cove, up to Canada. Like, I'm excited about these roads, and I've been on them, multiple of them, and they're pretty. You're seeing things the whole time. It's the woods or the ocean or the mountains. This is not somewhere. This is on the ferry that we're going to be on if we go on this trip. Olympic Mountain Range shown there. So again, the Malibu, because we're returning it to the same airport, 325 instead of 500. And then again, I don't know if I'll come up with this difference if I have the money and I feel like it, but I think that would be fun. Just a nice car, nicer seats.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's wrong with Chevy, but this is the Cove in Victoria. This is what the ferry looks like. Cars on and offload. You've seen ferries.
Yes, we've been on one.
It's a big ferry is the point. It's not like the one we were on.
Yeah.
And there's indoor and outdoor areas. So here's the map again. So I have a spreadsheet like you kind of saw before we can look at too. But day 1, fly to Portland, spend the night. Day 2, drive to, I wish I knew. I think that's Astoria is up by Cape Disappointment. So Cape Mears, I can't remember what's over there, but that's a short one we can climb, and it's pretty.
Yeah.
Then you're along the west coast the whole rest of the time. So Terrible Tilly, again, you could stop and hike out there. We could make that a stop in the middle of the day. Cape Disappointment and North Head Lighthouse are both right there in Astoria, which is where we'd stay. It's a beautiful little town. We've covered Astoria a little bit. And then up, I have to look at the spreadsheet.
What are all these dots?
I have to look at the spreadsheet.
Okay.
I can't recall.
It's been a while.
This is the one I did a little while ago.
Yeah.
And then Olympic National Forest is beautiful. So Mount Hood is down here, which is the big dome of snow that you see northwest.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd start there, and then Olympic is the ones I showed you that have the chain, also usually of snow. My grandpa's spread right where the word Olympic is. Sashes are spread up there. Cape Flattery is the very far northwest coast of the United States. Port Angeles is where my grandpa grew up. It's a cool town. I have spent a couple days there for family trips. And then Port Angeles is also where the ferry goes across to Victoria. So 90-minute ferry. Then Victoria, this total driving all the way there to the golf club and back, if we were to do that, is an hour and a half. Okay. So I think it's like 30 minutes to get to Souk.
Nice.
So, and then the part I'd probably cut out because of our driving is, unless we really love the idea or we added a day or took something else away, is Pike Place. We would just go and stop there. We wouldn't even stay there.
Yeah.
So the way I have it drawn right now, you don't like, I'm sure, no offense, is our last day, we're going from Port Angeles to Portland.
Yeah.
So not ideal. That's my tentative. So we have a holiday in there. This is the same as all the other trips, but looking at the end of May. And this is Astoria, a picture.
Oh, cool. Big bridge.
In Astoria, right near the lighthouse. So, and it's pneumatic coastline, snow-capped mountains, lush forest. Same thing I already said earlier.
And Bailey family history.
Thank you. And I'll show you, just for clicks, the short description. I can't zoom in. Fly to Portland, pick up the rental car, spend the night. We can look that up if you're interested. I don't want to. If you're not, State Forest, Mears Lighthouse, stay. This is anywhere, doesn't matter.
Beach.
Cape Disappointment State Park, North Head Light, stay in Astoria, and then up to Nia Bay. This is where the lighthouse is at. 2 hours to Port Angeles, 90 minutes to Victoria. Fiskar Lighthouse, stay in Souk. Explore Victoria Island and golf. Tea at the Empress, stay in Victoria. Ferry to Port Angeles, visit Pike's Place, Fish Market, drive to South Portland. And then this day, so that's another thing I did. I tried to make it so we're not worrying about getting to a flight.
Yeah.
So you wake, return the car, airport. It's still early because your airport's flights at 10.
Yeah.
But here's the actual flights times. So we'd arrive at 6:17 in Portland, leave at 10 a.m., get back home at 5:30, which is nice. It just seemed to line up really nicely.
Yeah.
Here's just to show you the spreadsheet's capabilities.
Just to show you how good I am.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, the octopus tree is kind of cool. It's a famous tree that's
very spindly.
Yeah.
Lots of arms.
Ignore my spelling.
Octopus.
So it's right next to the lighthouse place, but kind of cool. The thing people go see.
It does look like an octopus. Nice.
Cape Flattery. Oh, this is cool. You can't go to Cape Flattery because it's out on an island, but there's a boardwalk.
Observation deck. I've seen a lot of lighthouses have observation decks nearby. Even if you can climb them. Like, I'm pretty sure Split Rock has an observation deck.
Yeah. Why is it sparkling?
I don't know.
Oh, I think I Googled.
Searching the image.
My bad. Oh.
Oh, that's all right. Oh.
So you, I guess I'll have to do it over here.
Yeah, I get the gist.
But pretty.
Yeah, very pretty.
So Victoria, beautiful downtown. Scott and I walked around there and got hot dogs.
Oh, hot dogs. Yum.
Where the rainforest meets the sea, Suk, which we talked about. Oh, you remember those images, right?
Yes,
Really
I bet it would
town.
be really humid.
Olympic Golf Course, waterfalls, woods, and Lost Balls.
Lost Balls.
The original Starbucks. Shopping, not
Sopping.
Market and restaurants. There's like over 200 stores.
You also
that are
have
all there.
Rain for set.
I'm leaving it. So the drive. So 22 minutes to a hotel that I had picked. I stopped choosing hotels because I realized how long that was going to take.
Yeah.
But here's the breakup. So the longest days are 5 hours. That includes the ferry. And then this is the one. Now I'm thinking this is stupid, but the big Kahuna home is 7.5 hours of driving that day. We don't need to do that. We could figure it out another way. Then all these maps are actually worked out to be each day. So that's the cute one that's in Portland. Day one. So some driving. That might be the end of the story, but did some assumptions and calcs.
My goodness.
And the costs. Yeah, these aren't accurate because it's the same cost as the other one.
Oh,
actually, I think this one is accurate.
And the other one's copied over?
Not. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I threw in, these are stays at lighthouses, so that's why they're so expensive.
What lighthouses?
The one that I showed, North Head.
You stay there?
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
Cape Disappointment State Park, but it's North Head Lighthouse.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, the flights are thrown in. This is totals, so for each of us.
Yeah.
We still need to cut that down. I think we could, but I feel like it started pretty high. Food, I included.
Tons.
So maybe that's not worth looking at too close, but that's
mine's so unprepared compared to your spreadsheet.
I think we don't need to decide right now.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. We both shared part of
Minnesota,
Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, obviously there's Florida I thought about. There's international altogether, just flying, just going to Victoria.
Yeah.
It's hard because you give a mouse a cookie and I start doing this. I'm like, well, Cape Mirror, Portland's where you'd fly, and then Terrible Till, and I'm like, all of this I want to see. That doesn't mean we can't see all of it.
Yeah. And
part
of the thing that I'm thinking, like, aside from the fact that I hate driving, like, the other thing is every time we go somewhere, we say, I could have spent several days there. And then every time we come home and we think next time we go there, we won't do that. Like, we'll stay a few days here only. And so it's hard when you're planning a trip to be like, I'm going to designate the entire trip to just 2 towns and then Like, we'll get to see everything of each place because you want to see as much stuff as possible with the very little PTO that we have available.
Yeah.
But every single time we've gone anywhere, we've said, I wish we had more days there. I wish we had cut our trip up into like more manageable chunks. So I just know having to drive hours every day and only get to see something for a few hours is, every single time we leave, we're going to be like, oh, wish we had stayed.
Yeah. I think that's true of anywhere I go.
Yeah. Like Portland, I'd want to stay there for a lot longer than just flight days. It sounds awesome. And especially if we're going up to like Port Angeles and then crossing and going over into Victoria and everything, I'd want to designate a lot more time than just a day.
Yeah. We really could. It's hard. It's just a pulling on my heart, but we could go if this is the only idea, and I know we're just looking at it on screen right now. I'm just saying, if this was what we both landed on, we could say, well, we could fly into, oh my gosh, Seattle, huge city,
Where's
big
Seattle
airport.
on here?
Pike Place Market is in Seattle.
Oh.
You could fly into Seattle, or SeaTac is the airport in Seattle, Tacoma, and just stay, north of Olympia.
Yeah.
And you're cutting the miles in half. And this could be its own trip. You could say the same thing about multiple days in Portland, and then we'll go see a couple lighthouses.
See these lighthouses and come back.
And you go to
how cool!
You go to Astoria and then go.
Is that like a ferry line that goes? Like
yes.
that?
So that is. Let's go to Google Maps. That is the graveyard of the Pacific. That is the inlet of the Columbia River.
Yeah, the sandbar, Columbia Sandbar.
Yeah,
is out there.
He's zooming out from Kansas City. So convenient for lighthouses.
So we could drive out to Cape Disappointment and then take a ferry in the car, like with the car all the way down to Portland?
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
This is, well, actually, no, this is the border. I thought it was a ferry. I bet you there are ferries. Because there's a lot of ship traffic in here.
Yeah.
But this is that long bridge that was in my last image.
Yeah.
There's a lighthouse
of fun stuff
somewhere. Coffee Girl. Let's see that location.
Oh, it's in like a
Pier 39.
Oh, that panini looks delicious.
Look at that shit. That shit. Anyways, I love Pacific Northwest. We've been talking about it before we even talked about lighthouses.
I've never been to Oregon, never been to Washington, never been to Canada. Literally, the first time I ever went anywhere to the west was like at all was California this year for or was it was this year, right? Or 2023
last year.
A bachelorette party. That was the first and only time I've been anywhere to the west on the West Coast. So it's all brand new.
I looked at this hotel.
Whoa.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool. It looks like the bridge is on top of it.
It's right behind it, yeah.
So cool.
It's a hotel and spot. It's a fancier spot, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to get too invested because I really like your ideas too. Maybe we won't do any of them. Maybe we'll do something else we think about. But I think these are all. I do this with motorcycle rides too. I find ideas like this, and I'm like, someday. Like if not this time.
Yeah.
And this isn't there a life-saving station that we're going to talk about?
Yeah.
Isn't it in Astoria?
I thought it was over here.
Here at Columbia River Maritime Museum. I covered this. Mm-hmm. There's that light ship. There's a new Coast Guard light ship. That's cool. There's an indoor feature. Kind of cool. I think there's another image of this with a guy on it.
Fresnellan's.
Yeah, here's the dude.
Haha. That's funny.
Right next to the air conditioning. It's cool. It's cool. Where's that life-saving place, though? You think it's out here?
I think it would be out on the side.
Here's Cape Disappointment, which means North Head's up here.
Long Beach Beach. Lighthouse Oceanfront Resort. No idea.
Oceanside. I could always type it in. Grays Harbor. See, I haven't even heard of this one. It's another full-ass lighthouse.
I love octagonal lighthouses.
feel like North Head's up here. I won't search it. I'll just wonder.
North Head's inside, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, you're right. It's here it is. I was gonna say it's in the state park, and here's Cape Disappointment. So they're 2,000 feet apart.
Okay.
Dead Man's Cove. This is so pretty.
Yeah.
So you can see people walk right up to the lighthouse. You just can't climb it.
Okay.
That's Dead Man's Cove, hiking
Cool.
area. I can get sidetracked. We just covered Cape Disappointment. So Astoria is a cool town. I've only been there for like a minute. We drove through. But where we went, the only time I've been up here, we went to Victoria to go to tea, the shortened version. I've been to Sequim, to Port Angeles. Forks is over here. We go through Forks on this trip. Keats. And then somehow we got to Destruction Pass because that was that picture I took.
Yeah, what you're talking about. The bridge. It's resisting.
Deception Pass. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's multiple bridges that are gorgeous, but this is the ironwork that I took a picture of.
Your
But
picture was better than that.
just gorgeous. I mean, I love it. And it does rain, so somehow
Get a fair share of that.
lots of fog and such, which makes sense because the lighthouses, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we were doing over here. I think my dad just maybe wanted to see it. There was one point, I'll have to ask him where we were. I don't know. We were supposed to catch a ferry. Maybe it was this one. I don't know. We're supposed to catch a ferry, and we missed it. And because we missed it, we had to drive like 6 more hours around some peninsula.
Oh, Lord.
And it was in the middle of nowhere. No bathrooms, no restaurant. I know I'm scaring you.
Sounds like my personal hell.
But where were we?
I'm adventurous, but
We were way out
in
somewhere.
a convenient way.
We were way out somewhere. I think my grandma grew up. Grandpa was in Port Angeles, my dad's parents. Grandma, I think, was in Sequim. And somewhere up here in let's see if it comes up in Skookumchuck. Yeah, that's way down. Somewhere near Skookumchuck, maybe near Olympia. Anyways, so I've got some family stuff up there. My dad wants to go on a motorcycle ride up to Port Hardy and then take a ferry that goes up to
My goodness.
Port Prince Rupert. So this highway up here, Prince George, and then through the mountains. Jasper is, we've talked about Jasper before, but
Very pretty.
far from where we're talking about. I'm just getting distracted. I like maps. Make me think of going cool places, doing cool things.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can see anything you want to see without having to travel at all with maps.
no kidding. So
Well.
ramble. So many adventures.
The world is our oyster.
Yeah, let's just go to Outer Banks.
No. We have to go at least one other place.
Tampa. There was a lighthouse I looked at in Tampa that...
I'd like to go to Sanibel.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too. And neither of us covered it. Look at us. It was on right here.
It's true for just about every lighthouse I'd like to go see.
Harbor Island Lighthouse.
I don't think it's there. Zooms in as far as possible.
Lighthouse Beer Garden. I think there's a lighthouse on this island, and this is all a private island. Like it's a private residence.
Yeah.
I got it. Yes, it's right there.
Oh,
It's a
right
little
on the
tiny.
tip. So cute. Oh,
You
it's
betcha.
So cute.
It's like an 8-foot tall lighthouse.
Oh, so
Anyways,
cute.
now I've gotten us really across the country and off track. But cool. Anything else you want to say for this recording?
No.
Okay. Thank you for your work.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Thanks. You too.
Our different styles come together.
Yes. We'll have to figure out where we want to go.
All right. And this is the end of this recording.
Thank you for coming.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.